one. All right. How are my beautiful sisters doing today?
Somehow.
You don't want to know.
Just kidding. Doing
Sister
well.
F,
Can't complain.
we can't hear you.
She said
Huh?
we don't want to know.
No.
So, Aqua, she doesn't sound quiet to you?
A little quiet, but I heard her. Can you just speak up?
Yes.
Bean, you're not speaking up.
Hello? How about
Okay.
now?
I mean, yes.
You could move all
Okay.
the way here? What did I do?
Yeah, you got to move it because, yeah, I don't know why I can't hear you well. But all right. So, this is my first podcast short. This is supposed to be a bite-sized little burst of information slash encouragement because for podcasts, people, we dive deep into people's stories, but sometimes we just want a little bit of a snack. And so that's the purpose of today. And I am starting it off with my sisters. It's just going to be a little sister chat that we are opening to the greater public. First and foremost, I want to not end the argument, but so people have told me I look like Sister F. People have told me I look like Sister O. And I don't think I look like anybody. I don't even, sometimes I barely see myself looking like
You
mommy.
look like Fiend
Uh oh. Really,
You look
Sister F, you see it too?
and
you look more
Mommy.
you look more like me than Aqua. I mean, sometimes I see it.
Even though some people say that me and Damsey look alike, not sure why, but
Exactly.
a lot of people say that as well. But I think that you and Fiend look alike.
Okay. Okay. So let's all put our faces in the camera. Let's all smile. Okay. One, two, three, smile. Why are you angling your face like this? We said, look at the camera.
See?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Now we're smiling. Now let's look serious. Let's look to the left. Let's look to the right. Okay. Now you people decide. Who do I
Yeah, you
look
guys
like?
look alike. Look at how big my head is.
Okay.
You got me on a bad day, so I don't know if I look like anyone except a sleepy, sad.
Except for the Grinch that you are.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I promise y'all that this will be short. So let's get started.
Yes.
First of all, as you all know, the name of this entity is There's Grace for That. So we are going to focus on the subject of grace in general, and then we're going to dive a little bit into how, grace and grief intersect. So, first, I already know Sister O is a perfectionist, but Sister F, would you consider yourself a perfectionist?
Who said that I'm a perfectionist?
No, I would not.
Okay. Well, I identify as a perfectionist, and Sister O is absolutely a perfectionist, so I don't really understand what she's talking about now. But okay, tell me why you don't think you're a perfectionist, sis.
Not in a way that hinders me from like, or not in a way that like stresses me out, gives me anxiety. I mean, there are like a couple of places, okay, maybe more than that. Like with my art, I'm a perfectionist, so that's why I actually don't produce a lot, because it's like if it's not perfect, I don't want anyone to see it.
Okay.
um
If y'all don't know, my sister is an artist, so maybe in the
Amateur
future.
artist. And then I'm, let me think, in the operating room, I mean, I guess I should be a perfectionist. I make sure that things are as perfect as I can make them. um and then I think maybe with raising Ilaria and trying to do things like, you know everything right, maybe, but I still give
Uh-huh.
myself a lot of grace for that, and I allow Adiola to do his own thing without, you know getting in his way. So,
Okay. Let's talk about skin. Let's talk about hair. Let's talk about
oh,
body.
what? I'm vain. That's why I have issues with my skin and hair, not because I'm a perfectionist, right?
We'll dive into this at a later time, but
Yeah, I
okay.
don't know about that.
So maybe I'm the only perfectionist here. But yeah, we're gonna dive into the first question, which is, in what area or areas of your life have you been giving yourself the most grace for lately? And why do you think that is? Let's start with Sister F.
I think I've been giving myself a lot of grace in the area of my physique or
Wait a minute.
physical.
Wait a minute. You got to speak up, boo.
I hear her,
I
All right.
don't know.
Start over. That's fine.
but don't whisper.
I feel like I have been giving myself grace in the area of physical fitness lately. Um, because I feel like I've let myself go. And I pretty much since I had my baby, and it's been 3 years, and I still have not gotten myself together. So I feel like that's because I'm giving myself a lot of grace because I have a lot going on. The last 3 years, I've had a lot of changes, and
Yeah.
I prioritize my mental health over my physical health.
Mm,
In time, and I do feel like I'm doing better mentally.
good.
Well, before this weekend, but yeah, I've been doing better mentally, and I think because I've been really investing in that, and the physical just had to, take a back seat.
Okay.
Now, sometimes I do wonder if part of the mental is rolling over into the physical, and that's why. And so sometimes I wonder if it's truly grace or if it's like the mental part that's hindering me to do what I need to do physically. But anyway,
Mm.
that's my answer. I'm sticking with it.
That makes sense. Okay, I appreciate that. Sister O, where are you giving yourself grace for lately, and why do you think that is? Baby, we can't hear you. Lord help.
Sorry, it's because I muted myself because I was talking to some people. Uh, anyways, I mean, mine is similar to Fee's, because I guess it has to do with like physical appearance, giving myself grace, um, in the area of not feeling like I need to get my lashes filled every 3 weeks. Right now, I have about two lashes on each side. And also, okay, I'm pregnant. And so I think that in the beginning, I was a little more concerned about, oh, how much weight am I going to gain? And I don't want to gain too much. But lately, I've just been like, no, there's grace for weight gain during pregnancy. And I'm really not going to worry about it right now. I will worry about that in the postpartum period. Right now, I'm just going to eat what I need to eat, um, and, you know, not worry about it. So,
Very
yeah.
good.
And I feel like that's definitely given me more, peace, and yeah, just there's just no need to worry about it. It is what it is.
Es lo que es. Sí, está bien, no hay problema. Perfect. Okay. Thank y'all for your lovely responses. I'm glad that y'all are giving yourselves grace because you deserve it, and you both are extremely amazing and hardworking and have so much on your plate. So I'm very happy that you all are actually giving yourselves grace. So let's transition to the grace and grief part of things. My first question is for you, Sister O. For those of you who may not know, we experienced a an event that rocked all of our worlds not too long ago. Our brother passed away, and so we've all been grieving and dealing with it in different ways. And so I wanted to ask my sister, what are some habits or routines you have picked up that help you when you're struggling the most with grief?
I just have one that I want to talk about, and that is solo walks. So, I I've never been a person who needs to like self reflect or just come away and just regroup by myself ever. Um,
You're not an introvert?
but I mean, I don't know. I have pieces of both probably, but not an introvert in terms of needing like time to myself, time to re-energize and recharge. Definitely not.
Okay.
But I'm not the most like outgoing extrovert.
Right.
Um, but within the past couple years, I have treasured these solo walks. So I just go walking by myself, usually in the morning. And sometimes, or there's never been a walk that I don't think about my brother. So whether it's just, thinking about him fondly, or, like crying a little bit, you know, I always think about him on these walks. Sometimes, I pray on these walks. I call them my prayer walks. Sometimes I do worship. Sometimes I talk to people. Um, but most of the time, honestly, I just have a blank mind. It's just a time for me to just be with myself and my mind and my thoughts. And these solo walks have been invaluable. Like, I need them. And
Every day?
almost every day.
How
Yeah.
long?
So, I mean, lately they've been about 30 minutes just because of my hip and pelvic girdle issues. However, like before, they used to be like almost an hour plus.
Mm.
Um, and but even if I only have time for like 10 minutes, I try to take a walk every day. And that's been really helpful for me, just to just be by myself, just be with my own thoughts, just think. I honestly still don't think too deeply about losing my brother, because um, yeah, it's just too painful still. However, like I said, there hasn't been a walk that I don't think about something about him. So those walks are pretty much dedicated to him.
Hmm. Okay. Thank you for sharing. I'm happy that you've found something that makes you, that just makes the day a little bit easier, gives you some
Hmm.
some time to yourself. So yeah,
Hmm.
and I can definitely resonate with that because my walks, yeah, life changing, and I really enjoy them as well. Thank you. All right, Sister F, my question for you is, what's the most helpful thing you've heard or the most helpful piece of advice you've been given regarding grief that has, helped your experience?
I would definitely say taking one day or one moment at a time.
Mm,
Because I know in the beginning I was paralyzed by the thought of, well, what does the future hold? I mean, if this can happen, how do we go on with life? Like, what does this mean for the future? Like, this wasn't how it was supposed to be. I can't envision the future, without him. Um, and then also just the anxiety of, if this could happen, then what else can happen? Like, you know,
right.
um, but people were like, just take it one day, even one moment at a time.
Mm,
Continue to try to live fully. And I mean, we cannot prepare for the future. We have children, but um, just really still living in the moment and
mm, mm-hmm,
thinking too deeply about what is before us, because we can't control it anyway.
mm,
So that was
mm-hmm.
helpful. That has been helpful.
I agree. I definitely agree. When I try to think 5, 10 years into the future, that's when I get the most overwhelmed. But let's just think about today and maybe this weekend, the party
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
happening this weekend that we're looking
exactly.
forward to.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both. I mean, really, that's all I have for you. Do either of you have any, any last words you want to share? Anything on your mind, your heart?
I think if I could choose a second follow up to last question is, it's okay to have happy moments even when you're grieving. Like, the two can coexist, because otherwise I don't see how you can exist in just full blown depression and grief. So I live for those happy moments, and that's what's been keeping me going. So for those grieving, it's okay to have happy moments, and it might actually help the process be easier.
Love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All
I was
right.
saying
So,
thank you to Fee.
uh-oh.
Weren't you also saying thank you to her? What you mean? You're welcome.
Yes, I was. And then I was thanking you both.
Oh, okay. Thank you
Mm,
then, hostess with the mostest.
You're
yeah.
welcome. Thank you both for coming on to my podcast shorts. And hey, y'all, these are my sisters. We are a riot. You know, you saw maybe 10% of what we could be today because there are things going on in our personal lives that are making us sad right now. But yeah, if y'all want to see more of my sisters, go ahead and put it in the comments, sisters. And we'll see if it convinces them to come back on. All right. Love y'all.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.